Yes, welcome to the Freecom podcast
All right,
with
let's
Z.
go. Welcome, guys. Today we have another podcast with another student, Z. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're gonna talk about Z's story. How he went from zero to making money online. Talk about what he's doing right now, and basically sharing a story. So maybe we can start off by you sharing something about yourself, who you are, what you do.
So my name is Z, and I'm 21 years old. I've been doing dropshipping for about a year now, and it's been going pretty well.
Great.
So you say 1 year now?
Yeah, I started in January 2022,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a year and 4 months now.
All right. You can get the microphone a little bit
Yep.
closer, just so everyone can hear you.
All right.
Great. Right. Let's get a little bit more back. 2022 was yesterday, so let's go back to where did you grow up? Like, what does it look like as a child?
As a child, I wasn't really doing anything too special. Just went to school, and not really enjoying school. Until I got to HBO, which is like,
I don't know what it is in English.
it's
It's
like
like
after high
university.
school.
It's just something from the
just
Netherlands.
university.
Yeah, so kind of like university, and that was the first time I actually enjoyed school, and to a certain point, because I was studying physio. First 2 years were great, and then I got into my third year, and then all hell came down. Uh, I had a minor that wasn't enjoyable, and then I got to my internship, and working with these people was just such a negative environment that becoming a physiotherapist was just really... I got scared of becoming a physio because they were so unpleasant to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And
You did the internship at
yeah, like the practitioner.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I stopped with that, and I came across your Instagram, and I was following you for quite a while, and then I stopped. So I had a gap year, and I was thinking, okay, what am I gonna do in this gap year? And I was already selling on bol.com, but packing everything all by your own wasn't really enjoyable. First off, you're like, okay, orders coming in, I'm packing it myself, and that's a great feeling. But afterwards, it's just very dreadful to pack like 20 packages each day.
Mm-hmm. And how did you get started with Bol? So Bol, by the way, is like kind of like the Dutch Amazon. So you're basically doing
basically.
Amazon, but in the Netherlands. When did you start doing this? While you're still studying, or?
Yeah, I was still studying. I started in my second year, and it was also at this time that COVID hit. So you had a lot of time, and gaming all day became kind of boring.
Very similar to Gerben's story.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought I could spend my time better, and I came across this guy that was selling a bol.com course,
Mm-hmm.
Bolo, I think, and the blueprint was alright, but I didn't really get this in-depth guidance,
Mhm.
which I think is very, very how do you say that?
Important
Waardevol.
or valuable.
Very valuable, and I didn't really get that. So the start of bol.com was very slow,
Mm-hmm.
and then once I got it rolling a bit, it was alright. But packing everything was just not it anymore.
And how did you get to starting? Like, did you see an ad of them, or
Yeah.
like where did this idea came from to start doing Amazon or Bol?
Well, I think everybody knows this guy. It was Jaruan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He showed on every timeline, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. This guy was everywhere. And when you see it so many times, well, for some people it's like, oh, it's this guy again. And some people think like, oh, maybe there is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that, and I didn't want to take his course because very had a lot of negativity to it. So I saw this other guy, and a friend of mine was also doing his course, and he was doing like 20K a month.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I can give it a try. It's so much time anyway.
And this is in
Mhm.
2020, right?
Yeah, that was in 2020.
Okay.
No, 2021.
Okay. Okay. And if we go back a little bit before this, did you always felt like you wanted to do something different or find other ways to make money, or is it really just because of the ads that you got this idea?
Mm,
If
well,
you look back, like, did you always like feel like, hey, I can have other ways to make money or do something else with my life than just the regular 9 to 5 path?
well, I always had this feeling that I wanted to make a lot of money because of how my past was. And with my parents, having to struggle for money is not a pleasant sight to see. And when I was at this young age, I didn't really understand how difficult it was for them. But
Mhm.
as I became older and older, you can see like the struggle, how hard they need to work to keep a roof
Mhm.
on top of our heads. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna study economics because there's the money.
Yeah. And did you grow up in the Netherlands?
Yeah, I grew up in
What
the
What did
Netherlands.
your parents do?
They had a restaurant and they had to sell that. Then
Okay.
they started a snack bar, had to sell that as well. Then they had like a franchise supermarket, but they kind of had a bad business partner,
Mhm.
which was not honest, not fair. So they had to sell that off eventually as well. And now they opened a new restaurant again and trying to make that work. But
So the entrepreneur spirit, you definitely got that from your parents, right? Because
well, that's the funny thing. They actually do not really support it at the beginning.
mm-hmm.
They were like, "Oh no, just finish your school. That's the most important part," and they are still saying that, even though I'm at this point right now, making money online. And so yeah, it's kind of ironic that they,
Yeah.
even though they are full-time entrepreneurs for most of their life,
Mm-hmm.
they're not really. They do not really want me to do that, and I think it is because they know how hard it is.
Yeah.
They want to protect you or something.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's not like a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to put in the hours after office hours. So that's just hard. And I think they just want me to, get a stable job, get a stable income, and then not have to worry about any of that.
Mm-hmm. I think that's like what most parents want. Just you rather want your child to have like an average life, but they're safe and healthy,
Mm-hmm.
than to take a risk with the risk that they end up like in a bad place.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's normal. Okay, and then fast forward again to like you starting on Ball. How does that look like? How do you get started? Because I have no idea like on how to sell on Ball. I did sell on Ball, but not like as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
How does that process? How does it work?
Well, I think it's the same as dropshipping. You start off by product research on Bol, but it looks a bit different than how
Mhm.
we do product research for dropshipping.
Mm-hmm.
So first product research, then you go to Alibaba, find a manufacturer once you find a product, and then you let it ship to the Netherlands. First you take some samples to see how the quality is, but because you need to order in bulk, it becomes really expensive as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And they're advertising it like, oh, you can start with like, let's say €1,000, but then you have a thing called MOQ, which is minimum order quantity, and suppliers don't really want to work with like these small quantities because it's very expensive for them to ship as well, and also for us it's very expensive, the shipping costs.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with, I think, about 4 or 5K, and I had 2 products that were thinking like, okay, this is, numbers look good. It's selling right now. And then I got it shipped and was 3K for those 2 products. And it didn't sell.
That's a big investment.
That's a big
That's
For a
a
beginner, at
big
least. For a
investment.
beginner.
Yeah,
Like,
because-
that's quite a big investment.
That's quite a big investment. And I was 19 at the time. And I was still working like a part-time job, going to university. And it didn't sell. So that was very demotivating. And then I hopped on a call with this friend of mine who was doing 20K a month, asked for some guidance. And then in the summer, started to pick up. And then orders came in, everyday packing. That was fun until a certain point. There's okay, this is not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you get your first orders, you're like, yes, and then it's fun, and then at some point, oh no, I have to pack
Well,
again.
Yeah.
But there is fulfillment by ball as well, right?
Yeah, there is, but because so many people applied for it, there's a waiting list. But the
Wow.
waiting list is so big right now that you cannot even apply anymore.
Oh wow.
So that's not really an option. But you have other fulfillment centers
Hmm.
that do the same, but they're a bit more expensive.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure. Like you're gonna pay more if you're gonna let them do it instead of you doing
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah. Okay, and how did you make it work? How, or was it just luck that it started selling, or did you like change some stuff?
It was kind of luck, actually, because you do not have a lot of. Well, I at the time didn't have a lot of resources to test a lot of products,
Mhm.
have them get them shipped because I already made a big investment. So then he said, okay, this product is selling well, find the angle, get it done, and then he was kind of giving me a winner product for free.
Mhm.
I was a bit skeptic, and then he was like, okay, I'm gonna show you, and he listed this product, and I think within the hour he got a sale. And I was
But
like,
he didn't have the stock. He just listed it. And
yeah, he just listed it, and then he just canceled the order.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I'll try this. So I bought the product, made the listing, did some editing on Canva, and started to sell. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, it can work. It just
Mhm.
didn't work for me a long time. It's like, okay, then I just have to find different angles to sell this product. And I did that with the other products as well. Also started advertising on Bol. And then eventually I sold out and I got more of that. And the product that wasn't selling also sold out eventually.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was kind of the Bol.
And then you
Adventure.
didn't buy new stock, or
No, because once I sold out, I was like, okay, it was horrendous to get it out, and
Mhm.
advertising costs were also going up. So then I started to look for something else.
And the advertising, you just pay ball to get your listing up, or something.
Yeah, basically like that.
Okay. Okay. And do they show that it's an ad, or they just put you higher in the ranking, or?
I think it shows like sponsored products.
Okay.
Not sure anymore. It's
Okay.
been a
Do-
while.
doesn't matter. Like I was just thinking because I order on ball sometimes, and I can't remember that they have like sponsored products. But
Yeah, it's just like small text above like the ad card.
okay. And then you sold out. Now we're still in 2021, or
No, this
2022?
is I think 2022.
okay. And then what happened from there?
So starting in 2022, it was a new year. I thought I'm up for something new because
Mhm.
I don't see myself doing this, the bol.com business. I don't see myself doing this for a longer period of time. And dropshipping was always something that people are a bit skeptic about. But I thought, for some reason, your course really spoke to me. Having this one-on-one coaching,
Mhm.
something that the other course missed. So I was thinking, okay, this is very unique. I want to try this. And you guys had the guarantee. So then it was another layer of kind of reassurance that I got. So I just tried it.
Mhm.
And that's how I began with dropshipping.
And what was that different thing? What was it?
It was the guaranteed amount of revenue, profit, and also the one-on-one coaching, which was really nice.
And did you use a coach, like a one-on-one coach for ball as well, or was it just a course?
No, it was just a course.
Okay.
And he had this blueprint, and you could find so many videos on it, but it's not that personal, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have this one-on-one coaching, you have someone that is looking over your shoulder, has already experienced this, and can really guide you through the steps.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you have someone like that, it really helps with getting to those profits early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there are a lot of like coaches that do one-on-one. Also for dropshipping, like there are tons of coaches right now, of course. Then not everyone has a guarantee, especially not a profit guarantee. But did you have to choose between different coaches, or was it just how did you get to us? How did you find us?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't actually know. Maybe it was like a targeted Instagram ad.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
And then I just started to follow you, and you had some content on your Instagram. I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. Pinterest advertisement. Never heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I think, a few months in. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to take the leap of faith and see what happens.
And when did you start again?
January 2022.
January?
Yeah.
So I think back then we had the profit guarantee of 2K.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, and then you started, then what?
Didn't go so well.
What happened?
Well, the thing was, because I started on Bol, it was very hard to adjust to Pinterest and dropshipping, that I had a hard time getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
So the first few months, I started in the Netherlands, and it wasn't really working. But if I look back at it, my product pages were so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was also, I had a call with Amy, and she was saying, oh, like 2 to 3 months, people get to 2K profit, which is doable. But I think I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, which I could have avoided and saved a lot of money. But it was just very hard to transition from Bol. And then I think it was in May or April that I was thinking, okay, something needs to change because this isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of calls with you, Jürgen, as well about mindset, because I stopped with the internship and it was closing on summer, and I wanted to make this work before I went to school again.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of was, do I go to school or do I finish this program? And we had a lot of calls about this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do I go to school? Do I focus on business? And then eventually I made a call to take a gap year.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave so much space in my head that I could think more creatively. Okay, how can I make this business work? And it wasn't really, well, the deadline for when to make it work was kind of gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot less pressure, and I was more focused on, okay, how can I make this actually work, instead of, okay, how can I make this work right now?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Immediate results. And I think...
Do you feel like it's a focus thing as well? Because before you were still focused on your study, you had other things that you had to worry about, and now you can fully focus on dropshipping.
It's kind of hard to tell. I think the focus was there, but I was also doing a lot of things that may have influenced my focus,
Mm-hmm.
because I had to work a part-time job as well to pay for the ads. And the thing was also, I didn't really make a profit from Bol, even selling all my products, because I had to lower all my margins.
Mm-hmm.
So buying the course, it was kind of like it was like 2K at a time, and I had like 3K left.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very big investment. And after 3-4 months of advertising, cost a lot of ad money
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't selling anything. So I had to work part-time, and then I had to think about school. And then once I dropped like the focus on school, I could focus more on dropshipping. And then I was focusing on, okay, I'm doing this right now, but it's not working. How can I change things, the way that I'm doing things, in order for them to work?
Mm-hmm.
So I started optimizing more, because I wasn't doing that a lot. I was
Mhm.
testing products, and if they didn't sell, then I just moved to the other product, but I didn't optimize enough. So eventually I started optimizing products and testing more products. And after optimizing, I finally started to see results. And then there was this one product that really skyrocketed and actually started like uh, this whole roller coaster, no, not roller coaster, this adventure,
Mhm.
I say. And scale, and then other things came, like scaling, okay, supplier. And from that point on, I was like, okay,
When was this? When was like your first like winner?
I think June, July.
Okay.
So
So it
6 months,
took like 6 months before.
6-7 months, which is quite a lot of time. But I also had, I think, this 1-2 months of internship where I didn't really focus.
Mm-hmm.
But after having this one product that was working, I realized optimizing the product is way more important than, let's say, testing hundreds of products without optimizing.
Mm-hmm.
This one product I optimized and kept optimizing, and it worked, and it was still working after a long period of time,
Mm-hmm.
because I was constantly optimizing the product.
Yeah. And you say it's like a long time, but if you look at it, just like you starting from zero, 6 to 7 months before you get your first success, I'd say it's not even that long. Of course, like we have examples of people that like make 100K in sales in their second month, but those are
Mhm.
like very exceptional cases, right?
Yeah.
And it is possible. Like it is possible if you start out that in your third month you're making like 3K profit. That is very possible. But most people they're gonna need like 4, 5, 6 months, some even a year. And compared to like setting up a business 100 years ago, that's still like very very fast
Yeah, true.
to making profit, and it's still like a great time to live in with a lot of possibilities and opportunities. So I think 6-7 months, it's not even that slow. Yeah, what happened like after your first winner?
What happened after that was I had more cash flow, and more cash flow meant that I was able to test more. And then I started testing more products, and then finding more winners. And it wasn't, this first winner that I got was like a very big winner.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards I got more smaller winners. And I also started to test products that I tested before. And I started optimizing them.
Mm-hmm.
And the products that weren't selling back then are selling right now. So then I kind of had this thought of, oh, like the circle's round, because this product, tried it in the beginning, didn't work,
Mm-hmm.
tried it again, and now it does work because of the things I learned throughout these few months.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I also started looking to build a team, get more people taking over tasks like customer service. I started with customer service, and then someone for the images,
Mm-hmm.
product images, and then on and on.
And So in your case, like optimization was a big part, like a big game changer for you.
Yeah.
What is like so f- there's for sure people watching that are testing but are not getting the results they want. What is
Mhm.
it that you changed? So for you it was like doing more optimizations, but what does that look like?
Optimizations could be just improving the product images, adding reviews, taking a different angle on the headlines, on the first paragraph, maybe find better GIFs to put in the product page. That really helped. And also sometimes changing up the offer helped as well. So I made a list to track the analytics.
Mm-hmm.
And then next to it, I also put a list or put like these filters of what optimization I did. So right now,
So you kind of like kept track of like, okay, this is what the product was before, this is the change I made, this is the conversion rate or add to cart rate, right? Like after the change, or
yeah, basically. And I was already doing that in, I think, August, September, but I really started to track it
mm-hmm.
this year, like January
Okay.
2023. Made this whole sheet and then have my VA fill in the analytics, and then I will do the optimization
Mm-hmm.
and keeping track of the sheet.
Okay, and to go back to last year, like around July, you got that first winner. How much were you making in sales or in profit? Like what does that look like?
I think it was the first week that I found this product, and then I was making 10K in that month. So I was going from 3K revenue in the first 6 months to 10K in 1 month.
In sales
In
revenue.
yeah, in sales.
Okay, and then from there.
From there, I went to. Then it doubled the next month.
bevindt zich niemand in je contactenlijst. Siri.
Or almost tripled the
Mhm.
month after that, and it was still this one product. And then it got a dip the month after, and then I started testing more products, more and more, and changing again this product, optimizing the product, looking for a different angle,
Mm-hmm.
and then it started making sales again. And then I think I closed the year with 100K on that product alone.
So you did 100K with one product.
Yeah,
That's yeah, that's a big winner.
that's a bit, yeah.
For Pinterest, I mean, like you could even do 1 million with one product, but then just on Pinterest and just in one market or multiple markets,
That was just in Germany.
just in Germany. So that's pretty good for one product. So it ran for like 6 months or something.
It's still running, but
Still running.
on a lower budget.
Yeah.
And
That's
this,
crazy because in Pinterest you're probably not gonna find it in like another platform or ad platform where a product literally runs for. We've had products that run for over a year with the same ad.
no, that's, yeah, same.
That's crazy. And how's it going? Like, so you did 30K in a month, then you had a small dip. What were the sales after? Did you continue to go down, or did you increase the sales again, or?
So after I did 30K, it was very big moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the growth after that was a bit slower because this product had a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spoke a lot with my supplier, okay, looking for better quality, because at some point I got a lot of returns. It's like, okay, and I was working on outsourcing my work, so customer service. She needed to be trained, but also the product was not that great quality.
Mm-hmm.
Having to speak with the supplier a lot, testing different manufacturers,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got it right. And then this year started really well, doing 50K, and I think in February also did the same. And in March I started to see a big growth again. Then it jumped to 80K.
Nice.
And in April it was kind of a weird month for Pinterest.
All the updates and stuff.
Yeah, so revenue stayed the same, but profit margins dipped like half.
Yeah, Pinterest started to just spend your money like a maniac.
Yeah.
80K is nice. Everything good with the cameras?
Yes.
Great. 80K is nice, and okay, so not April but March, let's say 80K. How much profit are you making? Like, what can someone expect?
It was 22, like 22%, I think.
22%. That is
Like, it was around 16K, I think.
16K. Okay. That's not bad. That's what a physiotherapist makes in 6, 7, 8 months, or maybe even less for a physiotherapist.
I think starting physio salary is about 2,500
Oh, so that's
gross.
yeah, so that's at least a half year's salary.
Yeah.
In 1 month.
Yeah, but the thing was, when I started physio, the first class I had, they were saying, if you want to become rich, you're not at the right place here.
That's a nice motivation.
That is a very nice motivation.
That's good to filter out all the people who really want to help people to become more healthy and the people that are there for the money, because they're gonna leave at the first class. So that's a good
That's
filter.
the right start, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So that's nice. And what are you planning to do from here?
Well, I actually decided to go back to school and finish my education. Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's
Why?
a big shock.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I already got 2 years in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 2 internships and my bachelor thesis. And the thing is, I wanted to finish school just for myself and always have the option, maybe I do want to become a physiotherapist. Because as I started to make more money, you can live life more freely.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people say, oh, money is not important, yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, you do need money to get food and do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was thinking, okay, what gives me like this fulfilling feeling? And I remember in my last internship in my second year, it was right in the middle of COVID, and a lot of people got hit with COVID. And I got this guy, he was 24 years old. He was performing at the top level of hockey in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got hit with COVID and he couldn't even walk for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So then he came to our practitioner and I trained with him a lot. And actually last summer I came across him again because he also lives in my neighborhood. And he was saying, oh my God, he was standing with his girlfriend and I was standing with my sister. It's like, oh my God, this is the guy that saved my life. He got me through this period. If it wasn't for him, I wasn't here. And I just came across that memory again. And that gave me a lot of fulfillment and really helping other people. That is something that I want to do. And if I have, let's say passive income and I can live off that, so live a comfortable life, and besides that, I can also help other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also one of the reasons I want to go back to school and finish education. So I always have that option of doing that.
Mm-hmm. And you want to, you specifically want to become a physiotherapist, or you just want to help people but it could also be in a different way?
Could also be in a different way, but I think physiotherapy, because it speaks to me a lot, exercise and helping people physically. That's just I enjoy that.
Okay, yeah, the reason I was shocked is because you don't hear it a lot. Like once people
Mm.
start to make money, they don't
Mhm.
go back to school. Like
No.
often the opposite. Like they start making money and they leave school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the
But
interesting part is the story behind it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you've already made contact with your deeper why, and that is
Mhm.
helping people on a physical way.
And it's a profession where you probably need a paper, right?
Yeah.
Or can anyone say they're a physiotherapist?
No, you need a degree, and you also need to keep studying whenever you have this degree. Because when you become a physiotherapist, you need to get a certain amount of points in in a certain amount of time, and that is to keep on improving as a physiotherapist,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just something for physios that they need to do.
Okay, and like if you look at like 5 years from now, do you
Mhm.
feel like what does it look like? Are you going to be a physiotherapist and just have your business still on the side, or do you want to like?
Yeah, so let's say 5 years, then I think I'm part-time working as a physiotherapist, let's say 3 days, and the other time I want to spend on the business, but also have some free time
Mm-hmm.
because I'm working more on building a team right now and making this kind of sort of passive income, which is never really passive, but don't have to do a lot for it and have my team running it, and then have getting that money and spending and investing it in other stuff as well.
And do you want to like continue to grow the business, or do you just want to get it to like maybe this level, maybe making 16K profit a month? You say, okay, this level is fine. I just want to automate it at this level, just so it keeps generating this money, and that's fine for me. Or do you still want to continue to grow from here?
No, I definitely still want to continue because I think there is still a lot of growth possible,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
and I don't see why I can't do both things at the same time.
Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, of course, like the more time you spend on it, the easier it is to grow, or at
Definitely.
least the faster it can grow. But even with like 4 days a week, you can still. I mean, if you're good at like setting up the right team, and managing people, and like knowing what to do, like the key indicators or the key things you have to do to make the business grow, you can still do it with 4 days a week, I think.
No, that's definitely something that I'm looking into more as well. Getting more optimization for the team, the automatic processes for the team, making things as efficient for them as possible,
Mm-hmm.
and also ensuring that they're doing it right. So that's something I'm doing a lot right now.
Okay, nice. And like, do you plan on like setting up a brand? Because I know a lot of dropshippers, they want to start a brand at some point, or do you just want to continue with this business model for as long as you can?
I think setting up a brand is something I want to do in the future. Right now, the main focus is growing the business as I'm doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
then finishing school, and then after school, I have the option to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah. And you're going to school, like, are you going to school right now?
No, I'm
Or-
starting in September.
Okay. And then you have to do 2 years, and then you get a degree.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm interested in for you as a beginner, because you're still like, you're not even. I would say you're still like at the start, kind of. You're not even been doing this for very long. I mean, of course you have a lot of experience because you started on Ball, and then you've been dropshipping for over a year, but it's kind of took off like a little over half a year. Well, it's almost a year already.
Yeah, almost a year.
Almost a year already, but still in your first year, what are some of the if you have moments, but what are some of the moments where you felt like I'm gonna quit? Did you ever have a moment like that, or?
Oh yeah, most definitely. and I think Jürgen, I don't know, I had a lot of calls with Jürgen at this
Mhm.
time, and it was in, I think, March,
Mhm.
April, May, where it was like, oh, I'm not seeing any results. I don't know if this is for me. I want to go to. Am I going to school? Am I going to do this? Because at that time it was very hard to make a decision
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
on whether I continue on this or go to school. Because taking a gap year from physio is quite a big step, because you lose a lot of the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
because it's very specific and a lot of knowledge. So I didn't want to really quit on school without knowing that I have something, because at the time, not making any profits,
Mm-hmm.
only making a loss, having to work a part-time job to pay for my ads, which is not something to, whenever people ask, what are you doing? And you say you run a business, but then you also need to work part-time. It has this kind of double feeling.
Yeah.
Um, so, and a lot of people were saying, oh, just finish school. Like all my friends were saying, just finish school, go to school. My parents were saying, yeah, school, first priority. And then if you want to do business, do it after you're finished with school. So a lot of people were saying this. And when I had calls with Jürgen and also with Amy, it gave me more perspective and made me think a bit different, and made me think more about, okay, what is that I want,
Mm-hmm.
and how do I see it for myself. And once we did more calls, I had the opportunity to change my mindset and then chase after what I want. So then I said, okay, I'm taking a gap year, and if I can make it work in this gap year, then I'm going back to school. And if I do make it work, then I make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Was really not really planning on.
That's great about, like, because that's what I did as well. Not really. I finished a study. It's just a little bit different because I don't have a high school degree, so I was doing like a lower level. But I did finish a study, and I also kind of like gave myself a year to make it work. And then it's like you have a lot of space, you have a lot of time, and it's great that that you have this option. Like, you don't have to choose between your study. And I think that's great for people that are actually in a study but feel like, hey, I also want to try this. I would say the younger you are, the better, because the older you get, the more responsibilities you get. Even if you're in school still, like, the older you get, like, stuff gets more expensive as well. So it's always better to start now than to procrastinate and to do it later, or to say, okay, I'm going to try it after I finished my study. Because I did finish my study, but I already kind of started while I was doing the study. So just start now, and yeah, you can just take a gap year. Like, it's not, you're not like throwing away everything. You can always go back to school like you're doing right now. You can just give yourself a year to try and make it work. And if it doesn't, you go back to school. If it does, it's great. You're making 60K profit a month, and you can still go back to school.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's the like I said, the opportunities right now, they're great.
Definitely.
I think we didn't really get too deep into the mindset stuff, and I'm very interested in like what you, or like what Jürgen told you to how he manipulated you to continue to to continue on your business.
Yeah, so it was quite a while ago when we had those calls, and I think what it was in the beginning is really getting into the business mindset and getting into the mindset of thinking for yourself and what you want, why you want it. And I think after having those calls of, okay, what is that you want? Why do you want this? It becomes more clear, and you get a more of a picture of the future. How do you want to see yourself in the future? And I think one call, it was actually about, okay, how do I get optimal performance, and how do I make it so that doing this is that I'm doing the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you said, okay, just picture yourself in a year or 2 years, 3 years, and picture yourself in this ideal situation, the most optimal self.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you act when you're the most optimal self? And then it started slacking less and less,
Mm-hmm.
becoming more disciplined. And I was thinking, okay, this is my future image that I have. How can I ensure that that future becomes reality by changing what I do today?
Mm-hmm. And what I also can remember is we had two intense calls that you that there was a decision to make, and one of those decisions was to choose for what you want, and less what your environment was saying, your parents and your friends and your procrastinative behavior. The decision to just choose for what you want. That was very strong call. I can remember it.
And do you feel like that was like a moment if you didn't have this insight, or like didn't have this call where you got this insight, where you maybe would have quit?
I think it would. I don't know if I would quit. I think it's kind of hard to say, but it would definitely take much longer to get to the results that I got.
Mm-hmm.
And making that decision, choosing for myself, made me focus more.
Mm-hmm.
We had a podcast with Gerben before, and we were talking about like the mindset shift that someone makes as a beginner to like someone that's running a business. Do you feel like you changed a lot in your mindset? Do you feel like you have to learn a lot of these like things about mindset, like taking responsibility, focus, making the decision, procrastination, all these like mindset topics? Do you feel like you improved a lot there, changed a lot, or?
Mm, yeah, I can say I changed a lot in my mindset by taking more responsibility, because in the past I have been thinking, okay, this isn't working. Oh, it's just not for me. Blah blah blah, and I didn't really take responsibility in that I was the problem why it was not working.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, if something is not working, I'm not blaming anyone else. I'm like, okay, what can I do to improve that? And having that shift of taking the responsibility makes you want to become better, and makes you more eager to learn. And this is also something that changed from the beginning. It was very annoying that things weren't working,
Mm-hmm.
because I was just following along what people were telling me to do, like what's in the course. I was just following that. Oh, it's not working. It's frustrating. And then because I wasn't following every step correctly.
That's a very interesting, because
Mm-hmm.
here this is what we get a lot, right? We help people, and we have a course, we have a one-on-one coaching program, and there are people, like I said, they make 100K in their second month. There are people that are in there for a year and still are not at the point where they're making profit. And for us, it's really hard if someone says, I'm doing everything you say,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not working. And for us, it's really hard because we don't know if they're actually doing everything they say, or they're just saying they're doing everything they say and not taking their responsibility. And do you feel like you had this as well? Like you kind of like thought you doing everything you should do,
Mm-hmm.
but if you really, really take responsibility and look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, like, am I truly everything doing?
Yeah. I think what was happening in the beginning was I thought I was doing everything I could, but I was also very lazy back then. So not doing the optimization, which is not even a lot of time, but I just didn't do it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also started with bowl, I thought, okay, I already have some kind of knowledge, and this isn't working. Why isn't it working? But now it has shifted to, okay, it isn't working. Why isn't it working? What can I do to improve on that? And I have this mindset of I like learning right now. If I don't understand something, I go and learn it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also what I noticed going back to school. It's just nice to know things, learn new things, which you can then adapt for to your business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, once you see what the profits of your learning abilities, then you're like, damn, I wanna learn everything right now.
Yeah, and also I want to fail. I want to get in these situations where I need to take action and
Mhm.
learn. So I need to learn something. I need to change something,
Mhm.
because that's usually like that's kind of like the moment where it's either you're going to decide to quit, or after this everything is going to get better. And a lot of people, they give up at that point, and the small percentage that continues and actually fights through that are after that point are going to reap the rewards. They're gonna like grow from there. And especially in this business, you see it all the time. Like someone gets to a hard moment or a hard point in their journey, and then they're gonna quit, or they're going to continue. They're going to take responsibility. They're gonna learn, and then from there it starts to take off.
Mm.
And also what's interesting is that people, what we often see is they say, yeah, I'm doing everything. Like it's almost like exactly like you described. They say like, I'm doing everything, and then but they do the minimum of what
Mhm.
is like
Mm.
everything,
Yes.
right? They do, but I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Yes, I'm doing everything. Yes, but you're doing the minimum. Are you really like proactive
Mhm.
and trying to really put in everything you have, or are you just doing everything we say so you can tick it off
Mhm.
and you did everything? That's a
Mhm.
big difference as well. Like, you don't have to come to the group calls, you don't have to go to the group coachings. That's not something that you have to do. You can come, or you can come there only once a month. But the people that are there every single week, those are usually the people that are getting very good results, and those are the people that are really putting in all the work. So I think that's an interesting topic, like being true to yourself and really asking yourself, am I really doing everything I can? Am I really trying? Or am I just convincing myself that I'm trying, but actually not really trying my 100%?
And now I'm curious. So, at the point that you are right now, what is it that you can improve to do better at this point?
Well, it's interesting that you're asking me that question right now, because I think now is quite an interesting time for Pinterest,
Yeah.
making all these changes, all the campaigns having bad performance, and because I have this shifted mindset of, okay, what can I do to improve on this, instead of, oh, the system is failing, and what am I?
Like everyone.
It's like, oh no, the system failing, it's not working anymore.
Dropshipping's dead. Pinterest is dead.
Yeah, I need to find a new platform. No,
Yeah.
right now I'm thinking, okay, I'm fixing a lot of back end stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
So making the analytics better to track, making the team more efficient in their daily tasks, and really searching for the angle in which my Pinterest ads do work. So testing a lot of different stuff right now, having different pins, getting higher quality pins, and also setting up the team so that when we can grow again, it is a solid foundation where I do not have to worry about, okay, how am I gonna... There are like a lot of tasks you do in dropshipping business, and there are also a lot of tasks which you can outsource.
Mm-hmm.
And outsourcing and the tasks, you need to ensure that your team knows how to do it and also can handle whenever you're scaling the business. So focusing on that right now, and then also looking for new angles to make those Pinterest ads work.
Yeah.
And then if it works, then it works, and then start scaling.
And then you're one of the first that has the new strategy, or at least found the solution to what is the problem right now, where everyone else just is lazy and just waits. Oh, I will wait for it to get better, or I will move to a different platform.
And this is the responsibility shift in your mindset.
This
you
is
always take responsibility.
Exactly what we talked about with Garbin as well. Like, it's not a setback, it's like an opportunity. You should see this as an opportunity. It's going to filter out a lot of people that are not proactive like you and testing new things, or just taking a small step back and focusing on a different part in their business they can improve right now, and then at the same time testing, and then when everything is good again, like it's that point again where it's like either you drop off or you're going to scale, and that keeps coming back. And it's really that mindset where you have to realize this is the moment where I can sit back and do nothing or quit, or I'm going to go a little bit harder and do a little bit better, and you're going to go up.
Yeah, and it's definitely what you said. It keeps coming back, and I also had this situation last year where I was thinking, am I stopping or am I continuing? And I know definitely that I'm not going to stop right now, and it's kind of like having flashbacks to last year. Okay, something is not working. How can I change the things so that it works for me? And that gives a lot of motivation. Like, okay, it's not fun to see your profit margins get halved, but it's kind of also a wake-up call to improve and do things better.
Yeah, usually that's like, and that's the art of not needing that to still improve the business, because usually what happens is people get like a dip or something bad happens, and then they start to take action. But you actually want to prevent it as much as possible. You want to be one step ahead, right? You want to already optimize it before something like this happens. And that's maybe interesting for you in your business right now as well. Like, what could I have done in order to not get my profit, get a decrease in my profit? What could I have already done before? And start thinking like, hey, and it could be anything, right? So if you're advertising on Pinterest and you're doing 80K a month with 16K in profit, and the next month you see, I only have 8K in profit, and now you can like start to fix things and start to increase that profit again, looking at what you can do right now. But I think it's also good to think about what could I have done before. So let's say, what could I have done in January to prevent this to happen? And then you're going to usually get insights or an epiphany and like think like, hey, wait, I could have done this, but I can still do this right now to prevent it in the future. For you right now, that could be, hey, wait, if I would have also advertised on TikTok on the side, and I would actually have gotten into TikTok, or if I started a store in a different market, then I would less dependent on this one store. And when something like this happens, I could have just scaled back this store and started to increase sales on that store, for example. And I think that's a really good way to think as well. Like, not just think, hey, what can I do now to improve it? Because now, of course, you have to, but create this mindset of what can I already do right now. So let's say you're going to scale to 300K at the end of this year. What can I do right now in order to make sure my profit is good at that moment, and it's stable, and I don't depend on one thing?
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that I noticed as well. And I was looking to get into either Facebook or TikTok ads, but at the same time I was thinking I still want to master Pinterest ads first. And once I know everything, the ins and outs, and can operate on that without thinking about it, then I want to switch to, or not switch, but add Facebook or TikTok ads.
It's not that you have to go to a different platform. It's just an example. I mean, you can also like do something else in your business that's
Mm.
going to help you do this, of course.
Yeah.
There are multiple ways to scale a business or increase the profit in a business or diversify within a business. So there are different ways to do that. But yeah, I think, but it's just about like the mindset of like thinking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going back to what Jurgen asked, because now we are at the point like what you can change right now, but what can you change right now in your mindset or business, or what's something you feel like you have to change in order to get to that level?
It's quite a tough question.
It's a good one to think
It's
about.
a most
it's a
important
good
question.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a tough question, and mm, taking up what you just said was always being one step ahead of the curve, or at least trying to be one step ahead of the curve, and also making sure that whenever I'm building the team, and if I increase the team, that everything for them is set up correctly, making it as efficient for them as possible, and finding these different angles, seeing what people like stores that are doing millions a month, seeing what they do, and how can I find my own angle to that, how can I improve on that, and also just seeing on my website how can I improve the overall performance. Those are some of the things.
Okay. And do you have like something on your mindset level, personal level, like you feel like you have to develop? It could be like a skill like leadership or something like this in order to get to that level, or at least it's going to help you to get there.
I think building better habits and having a consistent habit is better than bursts of motivation, because bursts of motivation, they come and go, but if you don't have the motivation, work still needs to be done. It's not that if you don't feel like it, oh, I'm not gonna work. That's not really something, or
Mhm.
in my opinion, uh, that you can do when you're working for yourself. So definitely building habits, because once the motivation is not there, you fall to your routine. And if your routine is already in high performing, a high performing routine, you just do what you always do, then you can just keep on going.
Mhm.
And a question is, can you give an example of some habits that you want to improve?
I want to read more,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a goal this year of reading 12 books, and I think I'm
If
at
you're gonna study, then I think you'll gonna have to read more.
yeah, yeah, that as well.
But more books on like business, I think, right, or self development or stuff like that, or
Yeah,
like.
more for self development, I think. Mindset, understanding the mind
Mhm.
better. Not necessarily business books, because I've read quite a bunch of that as well. Still reading that, but
Mhm.
more of how to improve in life overall. So not only business, because I think if you have a healthy mind, healthy body, that translates to the business as well.
Mhm. For sure. For sure. What does your like routine look like right now? Is there like bad habits that you are trying to get rid of, or beside reading, any good habits that you want to implement in your life?
Um, Let me think. I think I have a good routine for myself right now, but the thing is, sticking to it is quite hard, because a lot of unplanned things uh, get through, and the thing is, how can I adapt to that, and kind of finding my way around my routine once, if something comes up, or if I'm not able to wake up early, how can I deal with that?
So the habit of planning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not that good at planning.
Planning is going to be is going to get more and more important as you grow your business, especially if you're going to do a study next to it.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to really have to take ownership of your time instead of being reactive. You like the more responsibilities you get, the less time you have to be reactive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm trying this thing now by planning my day the evening before, and also working more with the agenda, really time blocking things.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say from 12 to 2, I'm only doing product research, or 12 to 2 to 4, I'm only doing this. And that gives more clarity in my mind. And also planning my day a day in advance, or the evening before. Also, just when you wake up, you already know what you're gonna do, and just less mental energy for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, because you said a few minutes ago, or at the beginning actually, that you made a clear vision of the ideal version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you compare yourself with that person, what is it that you can adapt or can download from that person that is not yet here?
I'm also interested in. You did this exercise last year, like around a year ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you the person right now that you visualized last year?
Huh, interesting.
I also don't often think about this now that I think about it.
Not completely, but a great part of it is kind of how I visualized it. Working
Nice.
in a structured way, having discipline, um, taking responsibility. I think those parts are really what I envisioned
Mm-hmm.
last year, but the planning is still not quite there yet.
So
Okay.
that's the thing that you would do for what Jurgen said, for the next visualization, or like the person who you want to be in 1 year is gonna be planning more probably.
Mhm. Yeah, and I noticed as well, I'm doing that far less this year, because last year we had a lot of calls, and then because you have so many calls, you think more about it, you're working on it more, envisioning more, and I'm still doing it, but less often right now.
Okay. I have an interesting question. I think we're almost getting to the end. We already spoke a little bit about like the mindset shift, but if there's one thing that if a beginner is watching, maybe they haven't tried a business model yet, or they have like you did, like the bol.com, and they are not like making a lot of profit, they're still kind of like in that struggling phase. What is like one thing for you that you changed that you feel like can help those people as well?
The first thing that pops in my mind is take responsibility. Taking responsibility and really, whatever happens, turning it to yourself. Okay, this is happening to me. Why is it happening? And how can I change that? Even though if it's not your fault or whatsoever, still think, okay, what can I do? I'm in this situation right now. What can I do to improve this situation? Make this bad situation into a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever you do that, I think you put the power in your own hands,
Mm-hmm.
because you take the responsibility, and it's and whatever happens, whatever the outcome of it is your doing. So you put that power in yourself, and just give that trust to yourself that you're able to do it, and work as hard to get it.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like even if you're not gonna start a business, it's still very good advice. It's just like it's just a mindset that you want to have, for everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you just want to be a physiotherapist and you're in your 3rd year and you failed this year, instead of like looking at like, oh no, but this happened to me and this happened to me and this happened to me, just look at like, okay, what can I do, or what could I've done like in my power that could have prevented this or is going to get me out of this situation. And like if you always ask yourself this, then you're automatically gonna get a better life, right?
Exactly. Or else you stay in victim mode, and
Yeah,
and somebody else had control over your life. So wonderful advice.
And it's interesting to see that this advice keeps coming back from
Indeed.
everyone that is successful. Like everyone, like a lot of people that I speak to, and I think Gerben before this as well.
Yes.
He is that exact same thing. Like, and for me too, when I look back, it's like a big mindset shift, right? It's like before you were always reactive, you're always the victim, and now you just take ownership, you take responsibility, and it's like you go from like the sheep that follows everything, that is bounce from left to right in life, that is very reactive, feels like everything is happening to them. Now all of a sudden you're gonna say like you're going in creator mode, and you're just you're literally just okay, now I can just change my life. It's like it's like you were given a house, now you feel like now you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna build this house, and it's going to be built like how I want it. And you can literally do this. All you have to do is just have this mindset shift. Just say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna take responsibility from now on. That's all you have to do, and you're gonna improve your life tremendously.
Indeed. And what also is important, that you had a goal, something that you envisioned, and you took that picture to work on. That was also clear.
Great.
Yep.
I think we're going to round off. Is there anything else you guys want to share?
I think this quite long.
One final tip or golden nugget.
Golden nugget. I don't know if I have a golden nugget. I do have an addition to what you just discussed. Feeling like the victim, and the victim is always like, oh, why is this happening to me? And whenever you're feeling like everything bad is happening to me, and it's everybody else's fault but me, you also feel powerless. And because you feel powerless, you are not gonna take action, because you're like, oh, I cannot change anything because it is just happening to me. So taking the responsibility, you're like, okay, this is happening to me, but I can change what the outcome is. I think that is
you're automatically gonna take action, because now you know that you can change it. Yeah, great.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Wish you good luck scaling to 300K and beyond. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. You're in an uptrend, so I believe you will. And of course, good luck on getting your degree.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Great. Thank you for watching.
See you next time at the Freecom Podcast.